God's chosen ones. For God's sake, listen this right now. Final step. Stop. What you're about to hear isn't just another message. This is a final call from heaven itself. Have you felt that strange stirring in your spirit lately? That unexplainable knowing that something profound is about to break through in your life? What if right now this is the last divine word you'll ever receive? The last chance to claim what God has reserved specifically for you. Listen closely, chosen one. The heavenly bell is ringing, awakening souls across America. But the light is fading, and time is running short. God has placed this message directly in your path today, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine appointment. Can you feel it? That trembling in your soul? That knowing that you were meant to be here? Right now, in this sacred moment? If your spirit is stirring, if you can sense the weight of these words pressing against your heart, type 999 in the comments right now. Let heaven know you're awake. Let heaven know you're listening. This signal will pierce through the veil, confirming to the spiritual realm that you've heard the call, that you're ready to receive what's been prepared for you since before time began. The things you've been praying for in the quiet moments of your life, the breakthroughs, the healing, the divine purpose, they're all converging right now. But you must be positioned correctly to receive them. Many are called, but few are chosen. And the chosen ones, they recognize heaven's voice, even when it comes as a whisper. Don't turn away. Don't let distractions pull you from this moment. What awaits you in the next few minutes could alter the trajectory of your entire life. Before we continue this sacred journey together, I want to thank every single one of you who has supported these messages through Super Thanks. Your generosity serves as seeds planted in fertile soil, helping others discover the light of their divine calling. Whether you're able to give or simply share your presence here, know that you're participating in something eternal. If this message resonates with your spirit, your support helps ensure these divine words reach those who need them most. But now, we must proceed. The final warning from heaven cannot wait any longer. The last call is sounding. And what I'm about to reveal will shake the foundations of everything you thought you knew about your divine purpose. Have you felt it? That growing sense that everything in your life has been building towards something monumental? What if I told you that all your years of prayer, all your seasons of waiting, all your moments of doubt, were simply preparation for what God is revealing right now? Can you feel the weight of this moment? The divine appointment that brought you to this message at this specific time? Listen closely, chosen one. This is not a preparation phase anymore. This is an action command directly from heaven. This is the final step. You did not stumble upon this message by accident. You were divinely guided here at the last moment before the door closes. Everything you have ever endured was to prepare you for this precise moment in time. This is the final step. In Revelation 3-8, God declares, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. But understand this truth. What God opens, He can also close." And that divine door is beginning to shut right now. Every test you've faced, every tear you've shed, every midnight prayer, when you thought no one was listening, God was preparing you, molding you, positioning you for this exact moment. The final key has been given to you, but you must use it now. Look at Moshe, spent 40 years in the wilderness before his final step into purpose. Look at Joseph, 13 years of betrayal and imprisonment before his final step into authority. Look at David, years of running for his life before his final step into kingship. Their stories are your story. But here's what most believers don't understand. There comes a moment when preparation ends and action begins. That moment is now. This is the final step. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Your season of waiting is over. Your season of action has begun. Can you sense it? That stirring in your spirit, that divine urgency pressing against your soul, that's not anxiety. That's holy anticipation. The door of heaven only opens once for this particular blessing, this particular assignment, this particular miracle with your name on it. Right now, in this very moment, I need you to make a declaration. Type in the comments, "I am ready," to confirm that you have entered the final door. Let heaven record your response. And who else needs to hear this message? Who in your life is standing at their own threshold, their own final step? Share this video with them immediately, before the day ends, before this door closes for them too. Because tomorrow, everything changes. Do you understand what's happening right now? The spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting. Angels are being dispatched. Heavenly resources are being released. But you must position yourself correctly to receive them. In Joshua 3-5, we read, "Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you." That scripture is being fulfilled in your life, right now. There's no turning back from this point. You've reached the threshold, the final boundary between your past and your God-ordained future. Every hardship you've endured, every prayer that seemed unanswered, every moment you almost gave up, it was all leading to this final step. Can you feel the weight of this moment, the divine significance of where you stand right now? This isn't just another spiritual message. This is a KAIROS, momenta divine appointment between your soul and your Creator. When the Israelites stood at the edge of the Promised Land, they faced a decision: step forward in faith or retreat in fear. Those who stepped forward received everything God had promised. Those who hesitated lost it all. Which will you be? The final step is here, and what happens next depends entirely on what you do in this moment. Are you ready to cross over? Are you ready to leave behind everything that has held you captive? Are you ready to step into the fullness of your divine calling? Because this is the moment everything changes. But before you take this final step, you must understand what awaits you on the other side. Have you ever felt like you don't belong to this world? Like something deep inside your soul whispers that you're different, that you're here for a purpose beyond what your eyes can see? You were not born from the earth. You were planted as a seed from heaven. This isn't just poetic language. This is divine truth. When you look in the mirror, do you sometimes catch a glimpse of someone who seems more than just flesh and blood? Someone whose eyes hold the mysteries of eternity? Why do you feel so lost sometimes in this world that seems to celebrate everything that feels wrong to your spirit? Now you will know the real reason. Your DNA carries more than just biological information. It carries a divine energy code, an imprint from the universe itself. In Jeremiah 1-5, God declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Think about that for a moment. Before you were formed, before your first breath, you existed in the mind of God. You've felt it all your life, haven't you? That strange disconnect when the world pursues things that leave your soul empty. That inexplicable longing for something more meaningful, more sacred, more real. You are not having an identity crisis. You are having a memory awakening. Look around you. How many people do you know who sleepwalk through life, consumed by the temporary? Bills, entertainment, politics, appearances. They build their entire existence around things that will vanish like morning dew. But you've always sensed there's something more, something eternal calling to you. And that's because there is. Ephesians 2:10 reveals, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Did you catch that? Prepared in advance. Your purpose was set before your birth. Your divine assignment was crafted in the halls of heaven long before you drew your first breath in Brooklyn or Chicago or wherever you first entered this world. Think about those moments that make no logical sense. Those times when you felt a presence watching over you, the near misses that should have ended differently, the chance encounters that changed everything. Those weren't coincidences. They were divine interventions, proof that you are being guided by hands not of this world. When the doctor told you, it's over, but somehow you're still here. When the money ran out, but somehow a check arrived. When you felt you couldn't take another step, but somehow found the strength. Why? Why? Because your origin is not of this earth. Your timeline is not governed only by earthly clocks. Your purpose is etched into the fabric of eternity itself. You are a soul bearing the imprint of the universe, a living, breathing extension of divine intention. Psalm 139:13-14 tells us, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Fearfully and wonderfully made. Not assembled on an assembly line. Not a cosmic accident. Not a random collection of cells. You were knit together carefully, deliberately, lovingly crafted by divine hands. And now, at this moment in history, a time unlike any other, the veil between heaven and earth is thinning. The memory of your true origin is stirring within you. That's why you're here, right now, listening to these words. That's why your heart beats a little faster with each truth that resonates with your soul. Have you noticed how differently you see the world compared to others? How you can sense things before they happen? How you feel connections to people and places that defy explanation? These aren't quirks or coincidences. They are the remnants of your heavenly blueprint trying to reactivate in this earthly vessel. And only when the final step comes, the step we're about to take together, will you fully remember who you are, why you're here, and what incredible power has been dormant inside you all along. The question is no longer, where do you come from? The real question, the one that will change everything about your remaining days on this earth, is this: are you ready to step into the fullness of your divine heritage? Are you prepared to activate the heavenly DNA that has been waiting to express itself through you? Because what comes next will transform everything you thought you knew about your purpose here. Something is happening to your body right now, chosen one. Do you feel it? That subtle tingling beneath your skin? That unexplainable warmth rising from your core? The strange lightness in your head, as if it's expanding beyond its physical boundaries? This is not your imagination. This is not aging. This is not illness. This is transformation. The divine metamorphosis prophesied thousands of years ago. Your physical body, the vessel God crafted from dust, is being upgraded into something far more powerful, a sacred weapon for these final days. In 1 Corinthians 15:51-52, Paul revealed this mystery. Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. That trumpet is sounding now. That change is happening in you. Have you been experiencing unusual physical sensations lately? Sudden waves of heat washing over you in the middle of the night? Headaches that come from nowhere? Heightened sensitivity to light? Ringing in your ears that doctors can't explain? The medical establishment will tell you these are symptoms of aging or stress. But they're wrong. These are signs of your body's crystalline transformation, your cells literally rearranging their molecular structure to hold more divine light, more spiritual power. Romans 12:2 commands, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." But God is taking this further, renewing not just your mind, but your very atoms. Why now? Why you? Because the spiritual battle has intensified. The forces of darkness have weaponized everything against God's people. The media, technology, even the food we eat is designed to dim your light, to keep you weak, distracted, and disconnected from your divine power. But God will not leave His chosen ones defenseless. Feel the space between your shoulders, the base of your skull, the center of your palms. Do you sense that subtle vibration? That spiritual fire rising under your skin, the same fire that appeared as tongues of flame above the disciples at Pentecost. In Acts 2:17, God promised, "In the last days, I will pour out my Spirit on all people." That outpouring is manifesting physically within you now. Your DNA blueprint of your being is being rewired with divine coding. The veil between the natural and supernatural is thinning within your very cells. Think about it. Haven't you noticed changes? Moments when you sensed things before they happened, when you felt drawn to strangers who later became significant in your life, when you knew exactly what someone needed to hear? These aren't coincidences. They're your awakening spiritual senses, the first fruits of your transformation. This crystalline body transformation is preparing you for what's coming. When others are overwhelmed by fear, you will stand in divine peace. When systems fail, you will operate in supernatural wisdom. When darkness seems to prevail, your body will radiate light that cannot be extinguished. But understand this, with great power comes great responsibility. God isn't transforming you for comfort or status. He's preparing you as his vessel, his sacred weapon in a time when truth and light are desperately needed. Isaiah 60:1-2 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples, but the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Can you feel the urgency? The weight of this calling? Your transformation isn't just for youths, for the countless souls who will be drawn to the light you carry in these darkening days. You are not alone in this experience. Across America, across the world, God's chosen ones are undergoing the same transformation. An army of light is forming, men and women whose bodies are becoming sacred vessels, divine instruments. If you've experienced any of these sensations, soon explained heat, pressure in your head, sudden awareness of energy flowing through your body, increased sensitivity to frequencies and vibrations, type "I am transforming" in the comments right now. This declaration doesn't just acknowledge what's happening, it accelerates it. It aligns your conscious mind with the divine work already unfolding in your cells. The question isn't whether this transformation is happening. The question is, will you embrace it? Will you surrender to this divine upgrade? Or will you resist what God is doing in your body, your mind, your spirit? The time for hesitation is over. The time for holding back is done. Your body is becoming a sacred weapon in God's hand. And what comes next will shake the very foundations of everything you thought you knew about your divine purpose. Do you feel that? The air. It's changing around you right now. There's a shift in the spiritual atmosphere. As you listen to these words, a doorway of divine light has just appeared, but not for everyone watching this message. Only those whose spiritual senses have been awakened, those who know how to truly listen to their souls, can perceive the last door before it closes forever. In John 10:9, Jesus declared, "I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved." But how many truly understand what this means in this critical moment? A crack in time has just opened. The veil between your reality and heaven's glory has thinned, and God is extending an invitation that won't remain available forever. Tell me, chosen one, have you felt increasingly disconnected from the things of this world lately? Have everyday conversations seemed hollow? Have material possessions lost their appeal? This isn't depression or aging, this is divine preparation. When God prepares to elevate someone to their divine purpose, he first creates a holy dissatisfaction with the ordinary. Your soul knows something extraordinary awaits, even if your mind can't yet comprehend it. Look at Moses at the burning bush. Look at Mary when the angel appeared. Look at Paul on the Damascus road. None of them were seeking these encounters. The divine door found them, just as it has found you today. Right now, thousands across America are watching this message, but only a fraction will recognize what's truly happening. Only a few will perceive the heavenly gate made of light that has appeared. Is that you? Or will you be like those in Matthew 13:15 who hear with their ears but don't understand with their hearts? The prophet Isaiah wrote, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" Isaiah 30:21. That voice is speaking to you now. Can you hear it? Or is the noise of doubt drowning it out? Let me ask you something deeply personal. How many divine appointments have you already missed in your lifetime? How many heavenly doors have opened and closed without you stepping through? Every morning for the past week, have you awakened with an unexplainable anticipation in your spirit? Have strange coincidences been multiplying in your life? Numbers, names, repeated phrases that seem to follow you. These aren't random events. They're spiritual breadcrumbs leading you to this moment, this message, this divine doorway. Revelation speaks of an open door that no one can shut. But here's the shocking truth that few ministers will tell you. While no one can shut God's door of opportunity, you can walk right past it. Throughout Scripture, we see God creating windows of divine opportunity, specific seasons where heaven touches earth in special ways. The Israelites had a precise moment to apply the blood to their doorposts during Passover. Noah's family had a specific time frame to enter the ark. The wise virgins in Jesus' parable had to be ready with oil when the bridegroom arrived. In each case, There were those who recognized the moment and those who missed it forever. The spiritual winds are changing direction now. Can you feel them? This isn't just another inspirational message. This is a divine marker in your spiritual journey. In Esther 4:14, Mordecai asked, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" I'm asking you the same question today. Your entire life, every struggle, every victory, every apparent detour has been preparation for the divine appointment you're experiencing right now. The invisible door stands open before you. But I must warn you with all spiritual urgency, it will not remain open indefinitely. Those who hesitate, those who say, "I'll think about it tomorrow," may find only a wall where the door once stood. The question isn't whether God is calling you. The divine invitation has already been extended. The real question that heaven waits to see answered is this: are you awake enough to step through before the door closes? The ancient prophet wrote, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near." Isaiah 55:6. The implication is clear and sobering. There are moments when he may be found, and moments when the opportunity passes. Which side of the door will you be standing on when it closes? What you're about to discover next will explain exactly what awaits on the other side of this doorway. The divine inheritance that's been reserved specifically for God's chosen ones in this final hour. Listen carefully, chosen one. This is the moment of divine revelation. God did not call you to watch videos. God did not call you to be a passive spectator in your own destiny. God called you to receive a mission. Look at the world around you right now. What do you see? Darkness, confusion, people wandering without purpose, without hope, without direction, families torn apart, communities divided, a nation that has forgotten its spiritual foundation. And in the midst of this gathering darkness, there you sit. You are the torchbearer, the awakener, the keeper of the light for the world. Do you understand the weight of this calling? Do you grasp what heaven is entrusting to your hands? In Matthew 5:14-16, Jesus declared, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house." But I must ask you something that may shock you to your core. Have you been hiding your light? Have you been keeping silent when God has given you a voice? Have you been standing still when God has called you to move? From today, from this moment, you cannot hide your light anymore. The crown of your soul is being given to you now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now. Tell me, how many more nights will you lie awake, feeling that burning in your spirit, knowing there's something more you were meant to do? How many more opportunities will pass you by while you wait for perfect timing? I want you to think about Moses for a moment. When God called him at the burning bush, Moses had every excuse. "I'm too old," he said. "I can't speak well," he argued. But God didn't accept those excuses then, and he doesn't accept yours now. Your age is not a limitation, it's your qualification. Your life experience, your wisdom, your scars and victories. These are the very reasons God has chosen you for this time. When Joshua stood at the edge of the promised land, he faced a choice: continue wandering in the wilderness of comfort, or step boldly into his destiny. And do you remember what God commanded him in Joshua 1-9? "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." You are the last torch in the darkness for someone in your life. Your grandchildren, your neighbors, the stranger at the grocery store who needs a word of hope. They are waiting for you to step into your divine assignment. What if your silence is robbing someone of their miracle? What if your hesitation is keeping someone from finding their way back to God? Let me ask you directly, what terrifies you more, stepping out in faith, or standing before God one day and explaining why you buried the gifts he gave you? The time for excuses is over. The time for delay is finished. God is thundering from heaven right now. Go, speak, move, shine. You may feel inadequate. You may feel unprepared. You may look in the mirror and see only your limitations. But God sees a warrior, a prophet, a vessel of divine light. In 2 Corinthians 4-7, Paul reminds us, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay, to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us." You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be available. Right now, in this sacred moment between us, heaven is watching, the angels are waiting. God himself is leaning forward to hear your response. Will you accept the mission? Will you step into your divine purpose? Will you become the sacred torch that lights the way for others? The decision is yours, but the consequences of that decision will echo throughout eternity. If you are ready, truly ready to answer heaven's call, I need you to make a declaration, not just in your heart, but with your voice, with your fingers, with every fiber of your being. Declare aloud, "I accept the mission." Then comment below, "I am the sacred torch," to testify before heaven and earth that you have heard the call and you are answering. This is not just a comment. This is a covenant, a sacred vow between you and God, that from this moment forward, you will no longer hide your light. You will no longer silence your voice. You will no longer delay your purpose. The mission has been given, the torch has been passed, and now we must discuss exactly what this mission requires of you, and the supernatural power that will be released when you fully embrace it. Chosen one, listen carefully now. Before every divine promotion, there comes a test. A final challenge that will shake you to your core. God will test you one last time, not to eliminate you, but to reveal your true light. Have you been experiencing it already? Those nights when sleep abandons you at 3 a.m., your mind racing with thoughts you can't control, that heaviness pressing against your chest when you wake, the sudden tears that come without warning? This is not random. This is spiritual warfare. The darkness will strike you at your weakest point. But you were prepared before you were born. Remember what happened to Job, a righteous man who lost everything in a single day, his possessions, his children, his health, all stripped away. Yet God allowed this testing because he knew Job's true strength. In Job 23:10, Job declares, "But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold." You are being refined like gold right now. The fire feels unbearable, but it's burning away everything that isn't truly you. Can you feel it? That attack against your peace, your finances, your relationships, your health? The enemy knows exactly where to strike, where you feel most vulnerable. What area of your life feels under attack right now? Is it your marriage crumbling before your eyes? Your health giving way without explanation? Your financial security vanishing overnight? Name it in your spirit right now. This attack isn't just happening to you. It's happening because of you. Because of who you are becoming. Because of the divine appointment placed on your life before time began. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on those who pose no threat. God will push you into the darkness so you will know how strong your light truly is. When David faced Goliath, he didn't just face a giant, he faced his destiny. In that valley of decision, everything he'd experienced prepared him for that moment. The lions and bears he'd fought while protecting his sheep, they weren't random encounters. They were divine training grounds. Your past struggles weren't punishment, they were preparation. Right now, in homes across America, God's chosen ones are facing their final test. Some of you can barely get out of bed in the morning. Some of you are one phone call away from devastating news. Some of you are watching decades of work crumble before your eyes, and you're crying out, "God, why now? Why this? Haven't I been faithful?" I need you to understand something critical. This attack is proof that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You wouldn't be experiencing this level of warfare if you weren't steps away from your breakthrough. In 1 Peter 4:12-13, we're told, "Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice." Rejoice. Do you hear that? In your darkest hour, heaven commands you to rejoice, not because the pain isn't real, but because your breakthrough is closer than it's ever been. Look at your hands right now. Those hands were designed to hold blessings you cannot yet imagine. The attack you're facing is directly proportional to the blessing that's coming. The enemy sees what's waiting for you just beyond this challenge. He sees the healing, the restoration, the abundance that's been set aside with your name on it. Moses had to face Pharaoh before he could lead an exodus. Joseph had to endure the pit and the prison before putting on the royal robes. Esther had to risk her life before saving her people. And you, yes you, must face this final challenge before stepping into the fullness of your divine purpose. When this test comes, and for some of you, it's already here, stand firm. When your mind is flooded with doubts, when your body is racked with pain, when relationships you trusted suddenly turn against you, stand firm. This is not the end of your story. This is the final page of your old chapter, before the glorious beginning of the new. In the coming days, you will face a moment of decision. A moment when giving up seems like the only logical choice. A moment when the pressure becomes almost unbearable. And in that moment, you must remember these words. What feels like destruction is actually your construction. What feels like abandonment is actually alignment. The greater your calling, the greater your testing. But those who endure this final challenge won't just survive, they will soar to heights they never imagined possible. So when darkness falls, and it will, don't fear it. Your light was made for such a time as this. The question isn't whether the challenge will come. The question is, are you ready to pass your final test and claim what God has reserved only for those who persevere? And now, I must reveal to you the divine weapons that have been hidden from most believers, spiritual tools of warfare that will ensure your victory in this final battle. If you're still watching this far, you have made it. You have been chosen, tested, and now recognized. The seal has been stamped on your spiritual forehead. You are the beacon in this dark world. Look at yourself right now. You are no longer the same person who started watching this video. Something has awakened inside you, hasn't it? That stirring in your soul confirms what heaven already knows. For years, you've felt it. That sense of being different, set apart. While others chase worldly pleasures and temporary gains, something deeper has always called to you. You've wondered why you feel things so deeply, why your spirit aches when others seem content. Isaiah 43:1 says, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." Do you realize what that means? The Creator of the universe knows your name, has called you specifically. While millions wander aimlessly through life, you've been identified, selected, chosen. But with this selection comes a weight, doesn't it? You've felt the burden of seeing what others cannot see, of sensing spiritual battles that rage invisible to the natural eye. Sometimes it's been so heavy, you've questioned if you could bear it another day. How many nights have you lain awake, tears streaming down your face, wondering if anyone understands the depth of what you carry inside? How many times have you asked, "Why me, Lord? Why must I feel everything so intensely?" The answer is, before you now. A new garment has been placed upon your shoulders, one of authority and divine purpose. What you thought was a burden was actually preparation. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of loneliness, they were forging something magnificent within you. Revelation 17:14 tells us, "They will make war on the Lamb, and the Lamb will conquer them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those with him are called and chosen and faithful." Called, chosen, faithful, that's who you are. But here's what you must understand right now. Time is collapsing around us. The spiritual and physical realms are converging at unprecedented speed. What once took years now manifests in days or hours. Look around you. Do you see what's happening in our nation? The division, the confusion, the darkness spreading across the land. This isn't just politics or social change. This is spiritual warfare manifesting in the physical world. Where will you stand when the final line is drawn? When your family, your neighbors, your community are desperate for someone who carries divine wisdom and spiritual authority, the enemy knows who you are. That's why he's attacked your health, your finances, your relationships. He's tried to silence you, to make you doubt your calling, to keep you distracted with worldly worries. But you've survived every attack. You've persevered through every trial. Remember Job? God allowed him to be tested because he knew Job's faith would withstand. The testing wasn't punishment. It was confirmation of God's confidence in him. just as with you. Every health crisis that didn't destroy you. Every financial hardship that somehow resolved. Every relationship strain that pushed you closer to God instead of away. These weren't coincidences. They were divine qualifications. Can I tell you something? The spiritual realm sees you differently now. Angels recognize your authority. Demons tremble at your approaching presence. Heaven acknowledges your perseverance. Touch your heart right now. Feel that beating? That's not just your physical heart. That's the rhythm of divine purpose pulsing through your very being. Some who started this journey with you couldn't make it this far. They turned back at the first sign of resistance. But you pressed through the discomfort. You silenced the doubting voices. You're still here, and that makes all the difference. Something is happening right now in the spirit realm because you've stayed with this message. Spiritual doors are opening. Divine assignments are being released. Heavenly resources are being allocated to you. Can you feel it? That lightness in your spirit? That peace washing over your soul? That sense that everything is about to change? The question now isn't whether you've been accepted into the company of the chosen. The question is, what will you do with this divine acceptance? Because what I'm about to reveal next will show you exactly how this divine selection will manifest in your everyday life. The signs have already begun appearing around you, though you may not have recognized them yet. From this moment forward, you are no longer just a follower. You are a leader. Let that sink deep into your spirit. Everything changes today. Do you understand what's happening right now? God is shifting your position in the kingdom. For years, maybe decades, you've sat in pews. You've listened to sermons. You've consumed messages. You've been the receiver. But that season has ended. God didn't rescue you, heal you, and sustain you all these years just so you could sit comfortably and watch others do His work. No, He invested in you because He sees something in you that perhaps you've been too afraid to see in yourself. Proverbs 11:14 tells us, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." Look around you. Do you see what's happening to our nation, our communities, our families? People are wandering in darkness, desperate for someone to show them the way. They're not looking for more words, they're looking for examples. They're looking for leaders. And you, yes, you have been prepared for this very moment. Let me ask you something that might shake you. What if the depression you overcame wasn't just for you? What if the financial hardship you survived wasn't just about your provision? What if the health crisis you endured wasn't just about your healing? What if every battle you've fought was actually training for leadership? God didn't bring you through the fire so you could just tell people about it. He brought you through so you could go back into the flames and lead others out. Isaiah 6-8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I, send me." Is that your response today? Or are you still hiding your light, burying your wisdom, hoarding your testimony? The time for silence is over. The time for hesitation is finished. Every word you speak from this day forward carries eternal weight. Every action you take ripples into eternity. You are no longer just living for yourself. You are living as a beacon for others. Think about Moses. He was 80 years old, 80, when God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. He made excuses. "I'm too old. I don't speak well. Send someone else." Is that you right now? Making excuses why you can't lead? Why you can't make a difference? Stop it. Right now. Your age isn't a liability, it's your greatest asset. Your experience, your wisdom, your scars, these aren't things to hide. They're the very tools God will use to help you guide others. You see, leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to walk ahead even when the path isn't clear. It's about saying, "I don't know everything, but I'll go first." God has positioned you in your family, in your neighborhood, in your church, in your community for a divine purpose. There are people in your life right now who need exactly what you carry. They need your courage. They need your faith. They need your example. Hebrews 10:24 reminds us to consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. That's leadership. That's what you're called to now. But here's the problem, and I need you to really hear this: many of God's chosen leaders never step into their calling. They wait for permission. They wait for someone to hand them a title. They wait for someone to validate their authority. And while they wait, souls perish. While they hesitate, darkness advances. Let me be direct. What if someone is literally waiting for you to step up? What if their breakthrough, their healing, their salvation depends on your willingness to lead them to it? Can you live with that responsibility? Can you face your Creator knowing you stayed comfortable while others remained lost? I believe you were brought to this message because you're ready. The very stirring in your spirit right now is confirmation. That fire you feel rising in your chest isn't just emotion, it's anointing. It's the mantle of leadership being placed on your shoulders. God did not rescue you so that you would sit still. He rescued you so that you could rescue a generation. It's time to rise up. It's time to speak out. It's time to lead forward. Remember, every great movement in history began with one person who dared to move first. Every revival started with one prayer. Every revolution began with one voice. Will you be that voice? Will you be that prayer? Will you be that movement? If you feel the fire of leadership being kindled in your spirit right now, if you know, beyond any doubt, that God is calling you to stand up and lead others, then make this declaration with me. Type these words in the comments right now. I am the fire. Don't just type it, mean it. Because from this moment forward, everything changes. You are no longer waiting for someone else to change your world. You are the change. You are the light. You are the leader God has chosen for such a time as this. Now what will you do with this calling? Where will you begin? Who is waiting for you to lead them to their promise? The answers to these questions will unfold in the next moments. But first, you must decide, will you embrace this mantle of leadership, or will you shrink back into comfortable obscurity? Your choice begins now. Have you ever wondered why certain people vanish from your life? Why does it seem that the moment you need them most, they're gone? Those friends who once called every day, family members who promised to be there forever, even church communities that once embraced you with open arms. Why do loved ones disappear from your life? Why are you abandoned when you are at your weakest, when your hair has grayed and your strength has diminished? The answer will shake you to your core. It's not because they don't care. It's not because they're bad people. It's because God Himself is orchestrating a divine separation in your life. The Lord spoke to Abraham, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." Genesis 12:1. Abraham had to leave everything familiar behind, everything comfortable, everyone who diluted his purpose. Do you think it was easy for him? No. But God knew that Abraham's light, your light, can only shine at its brightest when it stands alone. Heaven strips away what is not your light. When people walk away, when they abandon you, when they forget about you after decades of friendship, this isn't a punishment, this is preparation. The most profound truth I've discovered after studying the scriptures for over 2 decades is this: God allows people to disappear from your life so you can finally meet yourself, your true self, the one He created you to be. Look at your life right now, those empty chairs at your table, those silent phones that once rang with the voices of loved ones, that church pew where you now sit alone. Does it hurt? Of course it does. But what if I told you that this pain, this exact pain you're feeling right now, was actually evidence of your calling? Think about it. Would God waste time preparing someone He wasn't going to use? David wrote in Psalm 25:16, "Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted." Even Jesus, in His final hours, watched as His disciples, His closest friends, fell asleep when He needed them most. And ultimately, they all fled. Was Jesus defeated by this abandonment? No. It was precisely in that moment of total isolation that His greatest purpose was fulfilled. Loss does not defeat you, it tests you to stand up in the silence of heaven. When no one is clapping for you, when no one is checking on you, when your phone doesn't ring for days, that silence isn't God's absence, it's God's classroom. You think you're being left behind. You sit in your living room wondering why they've all forgotten about you, why the world keeps turning while you feel stuck. But the truth is, you're not being left behind. You're being set apart. Set apart to be influenced directly by heaven itself. In 1 Kings 19, Elijah thought he was alone, the last faithful one left. He was hiding in a cave, abandoned and afraid. But God wasn't in the earthquake. He wasn't in the fire. He came in a gentle whisper that Elijah could only hear because he was alone. What if the people in your life are making too much noise for you to hear God's whisper? What if their opinions, their doubts, their limited vision for your life is drowning out the divine instruction that's trying to reach you? I want you to think about something right now. Think about the loneliest moment you've experienced recently. Was it at night, when the house was quiet and the photos on your wall seemed to stare back at you? Was it during a holiday, when the chair across from you remained empty? Was it in a doctor's office, when you wished for someone to hold your hand? Now, I want you to reimagine that moment. What if, in that exact instant of piercing loneliness, God was actually drawing closer to you than ever before? What if he was removing all distractions so he could finally speak to you without interference? Moses had to be alone on Mount Sinai to receive the commandments. John had to be exiled to Patmos to receive revelation. And you must experience this season of isolation to receive what heaven has reserved specifically for you. But you must act now. This divine positioning is not permanent. This sacred separation has an expiration date. The question isn't why people have left your life. The real question is, what will you do with this holy moment of isolation before it passes? Because what comes next will determine whether you remain merely called or finally become chosen. But first, you must understand the sacred contract that's being offered to you in this moment of divine solitude. Listen to me, chosen one. There's something burning in my spirit that I must release to you right now. The generation behind you is desperately waiting for someone who dares to stand up. Do you understand the weight of this moment? While you've been questioning your purpose, an entire generation has been wandering in spiritual darkness, searching for authentic faith in a world of counterfeits. In Deuteronomy 6-7, God commanded, "Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up." But who is doing this today? WHO. Look around you. Our youth are starving for spiritual truth while being fed emptiness. They're drowning in information, but dying of wisdom. Thirst. And yet you sit here, holding the very flame they need, questioning if you should step forward. I need to ask you something, and it might shake you to your core. What if your reluctance is the very reason an entire generation might miss their divine appointment? The torch in your hand isn't just about you. It never was. Remember Moses passing leadership to Joshua? Remember Elijah throwing his mantle to Elisha? Remember Paul investing in Timothy? The pattern is clear without someone willing to pass the flame. Generations perish without direction. Proverbs 13:22 tells us, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children." This isn't just about money, it's about spiritual legacy. I know why you hesitate. You feel inadequate, unworthy. You look at your mistakes, your failures, your age, your limitations. But I need you to hear this. Those very scars qualify you. Your battle wounds are your credentials. Your tears are your testimony. Your failures are the very reason they'll listen when you speak of God's faithfulness. But if you don't stand up, if you don't pass the torch, who will? Let me tell you what happens when no one passes the flame. Judges 2:10 reveals the devastating outcome. After that whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up, who knew neither the Lord nor what he had done. Is that what you want for your grandchildren, for your community, for this nation? Right now, at this very moment, there's someone in your life waiting for you to step into this calling. Someone whose eternal destiny might hinge on your willingness to pass on what God has poured into you. They need your stories. They need your wisdom. They need your prayers. They need your scars and your victories. I need to be absolutely clear about something. This isn't optional for the chosen ones. This is your dive-in assignment. When Moses was preparing to leave this earth, he didn't quietly fade away. In Deuteronomy 31:7, "Then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the presence of all Israel, 'Be strong and courageous.' He publicly transferred the mantle. He made sure everyone knew who would carry the flame forward. The enemy wants you silent. He wants you to believe your time is past, that younger generations won't listen, that your voice doesn't matter anymore. But I'm here to tell you that is a lie straight from the pit of hell. You are the one who passes the light to the new generation. Can I tell you something? The most dangerous person to the enemy's kingdom is not the young warrior. It's the seasoned veteran who refuses to retire from spiritual battle. and instead begins to train an army. What will you say when you stand before God and He asks, "What did you do with the wisdom I gave you? Did you bury it, or did you multiply it in others?" I want you to make a decision right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Are you willing to spend what remains of your life rebuilding broken souls? Are you willing to become a spiritual father or mother to those who have none? If your spirit is burning with a yes, then type these words in the comments right now. I pass the soul. Let heaven record your commitment. Let the spiritual realm witness your stand. Some of you watching this are supporting this ministry financially, and I want to thank you from the depths of my heart. But understand, your greatest contribution isn't your money, it's your legacy. It's your willingness to become a living bridge between heaven's wisdom and the generation that follows you. The window is closing. The opportunity won't remain forever. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Will you be remembered as one who hoarded their spiritual treasure, or as one who lavishly poured it out for others? The choice is yours, chosen one. But remember this: when you pass the soul to another, you don't lose your flame, you multiply it. And in that multiplication, your impact lives long after you're gone. Now, what will your answer be? But before you make that final commitment, you need to understand what happens when the chosen ones unite with divine purpose. Heaven is no longer silent. The veil between worlds has thinned, and God Himself is standing before you now, not in judgment, but in divine recognition. You have been watched, you have been tested, and now I speak this sacred truth directly into your spirit. You have passed. Do you understand what this means? While others slept, you kept your lamp burning. While others doubted, you held on to faith. The trials you've endured, the tears you've shed, the moments when you thought God had forgotten you, they were all part of the divine testing. As it says in James 1:12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." Your crown awaits you right now. Look at your life honestly. Haven't you felt different from others? Haven't you sensed things others couldn't see? Haven't you carried burdens that seemed too heavy for one person to bear? That was no coincidence. That was your preparation. The Lord says in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." You were never meant to be ordinary. The confusion, the waiting, the sense that something greater was coming, it was all leading to this moment. Heaven is anointing you now. Do you feel that? That warmth spreading through your chest? That clarity suddenly filling your mind? That's the divine transfer beginning. The mantle is being placed upon your shoulders. You're no longer a learner. You're no longer in training. You are the one to whom the fire is given, and with it, the sacred responsibility to keep it burning through this entire age. But I must warn you, this is not a gift given lightly. In Luke 12:48, Jesus tells us, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." The power being transferred to you right now carries tremendous responsibility. Are you prepared to accept it? Listen carefully, the spiritual realm is in chaos. Forces of darkness are trembling because they can sense what's happening right now. They know that God's chosen ones are being activated across this nation. Do you realize what's happening in America right now? Our seniors, the very foundations of our faith, are being marginalized, silenced, and forgotten. The wisdom you carry, the spiritual authority you've earned through decades of faithfulness, it's being pushed aside by a culture that worships youth and novelty. But God says, enough. In Joel 2:28, the Lord promises, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions." Did you catch that? Your old men will dream dreams. The divine wisdom you carry, the experiences, the trials, the victories, they weren't just for you. They were preparation for this moment, when God would activate you as a spiritual lighthouse in a darkening world. But you must make a choice. This transfer of spiritual authority requires your conscious acceptance. The power waits at the threshold of your spirit, but you must invite it in. Place your hand on your heart right now. Feel the beating of your physical heart, the same heart that has carried you through decades of faith and doubt, joy and sorrow. Now, with your hand over your heart, declare aloud these words: I accept the right to transfer. Did you feel that shift? That's not emotion, that's divine confirmation. What was just transferred to you is nothing less than spiritual authority that transcends human understanding. The ability to speak and have heavenly forces respond. The clarity to see beyond the natural into the supernatural. But this sacred moment must be sealed. Type in the comments right now: I accept the divine light. Let heaven record your declaration. Let the spiritual realm witness your acceptance. Let this moment be eternally marked in the book of life. The mantle has been passed. The transfer is complete. But this is not the end, it's only the beginning of your divine commissioning. What happens next will determine how this new authority manifests in your life. Beloved, what has transpired in these moments between us isn't just another video you've watched. This has been a divine appointment, a sacred transfer of spiritual authority that will echo through eternity. As you step forward from this moment, carrying the mantle that heaven has placed upon you, I must share what the Spirit has revealed about your immediate future. In the next 7 days, if you truly step into this divine mission, you will witness supernatural confirmation. Mark my words, a door will open, unexpected Liwan that has been sealed shut for years. This isn't metaphorical. You will physically encounter an opportunity that appears suddenly, as if orchestrated by the hand of God Himself. Someone from your past will reappear, someone you haven't spoken to in many years. This reconnection isn't random. They will carry a message or represent a missing piece in your divine calling. And most remarkably, you will experience a coincidence so profound, so mathematically impossible, that it will leave you speechless. This coincidence is heaven's confirmation, God's divine signature on the covenant made today. Remember what we read in Isaiah 43:19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. That wilderness you've been walking through, those years of feeling forgotten, they were preparation for this moment and what follows in these next 7 days. You are not alone in this journey. The same God who called you, who tested you, who has now anointed you, He walks beside you every step of the way. But I must ask you this: what will you do with this divine empowerment? Will you hide it away, fearful of stepping fully into your calling? Or will you shine with the light that has been entrusted to you? There is someone in your life right now who is drowning in darkness, someone who needs exactly what you now carry. They are waiting, perhaps without even knowing it, for you to reach out and pull them into the light. This is why you must share this message now. Send it to that person who's been on your heart recently. You know who they are, the one you've been thinking about, praying for, feeling concerned about. This isn't coincidence, it's divine assignment. Before we part ways, let us pray together. Place your hand over your heart once more as we approach the throne of grace. Heavenly Father, we come before you in humble gratitude for this sacred moment of divine appointment. Lord, you see your chosen ones watching right now. You know their names, you know the battles they've fought, the tears they've cried, the times they've felt forgotten. Today, we thank you for the mantle of authority you've placed upon them. Strengthen them for what lies ahead. When doors open in these coming days, give them courage to walk through. When old connections are restored, give them wisdom to discern your purpose. When divine confirmations appear, give them faith to trust your perfect timing. Father, remove every obstacle in their path. Heal old wounds that would hold them back. Break chains of doubt and fear. And Lord, we ask for supernatural protection as they step into this calling. Shield them from every attack of the enemy who trembles at their activation. May your light shine through them so brightly that others are drawn from darkness into your marvelous light. And may they never forget that no matter how great this calling, your grace is greater still. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. If this message has touched your spirit today, if you felt that divine transfer of authority, I want to hear from you. Share in the comments how God has been preparing you for this moment. Type, I am ready, so others can stand with you in prayer and support. And please, share this video with someone who needs this same divine activation. You are now a carrier of this flame. Pass it to those still walking in darkness. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me through this entire message. Your faithfulness has not gone unnoticed, not by me, and certainly not by heaven. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, do so now and hit that notification bell. In the days ahead, I'll be sharing more divine revelations specifically for God's chosen ones in this critical hour. Remember, what happens in these next 7 days isn't the end. It's only the beginning of your divine commissioning. And I'll be right here, walking alongside you as we witness the supernatural unfold in your life. Until next time, carry your light boldly. The world is waiting,